Attention listeners, Aftersight's annual hike is coming up on July 27th.
It was a really good experience for me.
Visit aftersight.org/hike and become an audio trekker today.
That hike today gave me so much courage.
You're listening to The Blind Chick, an Aftersight original podcast. We're telling you stories about strength, overcoming hurdles, and living experiences. We see who you really are. Blindness can be an adventure. Are you ready for the journey of a lifetime? We are.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Blind Chick. I'm your host, Penn Stree, and my co-host, Moses, is not here today. Moses, as you've heard here on the podcast, he is a professional photographer, and he is actually photographing a beautiful couple in the Rocky Mountain National Park today, which is above Estes Park, Colorado. So I'm sure it's a lot cooler up there than it is down here today. So I'm flying solo, just like the old days. I hope everybody's enjoying their summer and it's going well. We have definitely been out hiking and camping. This last weekend, we attended the Snowy Grass Bluegrass Festival in Estes Park, Colorado. And there was so much just beautiful, amazing music and dancing. And I would never call myself a great dancer, but we all have to reach outside our comfort zones every once in a while just to see what else is out there in the world for us. And today's guest knows all about that. She grew up in Madagascar, and I can't wait for her to share more about that. She's an entrepreneur, and she's absolutely changing the future for young girls in her home country. Melodie Paubert, welcome to The Blind Chick.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here. I'm really excited to speak with you finally.
I know. I am so excited too. Did I pronounce your last name correctly?
You did. I'm surprised
I did.
you didn't say Paubert because that's how people see it. But then maybe because, yeah.
I know my maiden name is Bowden, and we always pronounced it as Bowden. But growing up, people were like Bowden, Bodine, like everything.
Yeah.
So I understand that different people say your name. So where are you calling in from today? Like, where are you today? I know you're not in Madagascar, but where are you today?
Yeah, I wish I was in Madagascar right now. I'm in Seattle, Washington. I live in Seattle, Washington. I'm supposed to be in Madagascar, but it didn't happen. So my mom is the one that's going there right now.
Oh.
We have an event for a nonprofit this summer, so she's going instead of me.
Oh, wonderful. I do like Seattle, though. I've been there a couple of times, and it's a beautiful, beautiful city. So Madagascar, can you share a little bit about what it was like growing up in Eastern Africa?
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, Madagascar is completely different from where I am right now, the United States. It's a third world country. It's the fourth largest island in the world. Somewhere there's a lot of biodiversity. A lot of the animals and the plants that are grown there are mostly found there. So that's really cool about Madagascar. And yeah, I grew up there. I was raised by my grandparents. My mom was very young when she had me. She was 19, and she had to drop out of high school when she had me. And because of that, she had to leave me with my mom, and she had to go find a job and school, complete education in the capital city. I grew up in the very small town called Androy. So like the actual first time that I went to a big city was the day that I had to prepare my passport to come to the United States.
Oh, wow.
So like until I was 13, I just like was in this very small town. So I came here, and like the first city that I entered in was the United States, and was New York City. And I
Right,
thought that
right.
like the United States was gonna be like that. Like I'm like, oh my God, I'm so lost in this tunnel of tall
Oh,
buildings. But then we moved to up here, Pacific Northwest, and I'm like, okay, there's a lot more air.
yes.
So
And there's trees and things
yeah, exactly.
like wow. So I know that you were diagnosed with RP, retinitis pigmentosa,
Hmm.
when you were a teenager. Was that diagnosis why you ended up in the United States?
Oh no, it wasn't
No.
actually. But I am thankful that I ended up in the United States so I can be diagnosed because I
Oh,
feel like this
okay.
is something that I would have never been diagnosed with
Oh, okay.
unless I came here. So I actually came here because my mom, she was with somebody who is an American person. She was in the Peace Corps. She was educating the
Oh,
Americans about our language and our culture. So the American volunteers, one of them was my mom's husband.
okay.
He was a student first, and then they fell in love and all that. And then
Oh,
I think my mom mentioned to that person that, oh, I have a daughter actually. She's in Nambumbe with my mom and blah blah blah. And he was like, oh well, I guess we can bring her too. And the thing is, like, my grandparents were very protective of me. I remember my
oh,
mom was telling me that she wanted me to come move with her to the capital cities when I was older. But then my grandparents were like, no, you cannot bring her. But then
oh,
this opportunity to the United States, my grandpa was like, okay, yeah, I guess you can bring her.
oh.
Yeah.
So were you diagnosed when you were still in Madagascar or not until you came to the
Not
States?
until I came here, and
Oh,
it
okay.
was kind of crazy because I didn't know I had a visual impairment or visual challenge, and I knew that I was struggling at night, especially
Oh,
is
yes.
how I noticed that I had a vision problem because at night I would be like falling downstairs and bumping into
Oh,
things that are so obvious and just like missing people, and everybody would always tell me that I'm clumsy or
oh no.
I need to look at where I'm going. I'm blah blah blah.
Or maybe you need glasses. That's what
Or I need glasses. And the funny thing is, they brought me to an optometrist. They're like, you need glasses because you keep falling and this is
yeah.
not normal. Yeah. But then when I went to my optometrist, they're like, you have something very rare and very
Oh,
specific. I need you to see a retinal specialist. And then that's where it happened. And I was really young. I
wow.
was about 14 or 15 when I was diagnosed, and I couldn't really understand because I'm like, how are you telling me that I have this eye disease when I can
Right.
see? Like, I feel like I haven't really seen the world outside of through somebody else's perspective. So to me, how
Yeah.
I saw was normal. Like, it was normal that I couldn't see
Yes.
as far as my shoulders. I don't know how
Yeah.
much people see, but I feel like throughout the years I kind of adapted to make my vision normal, and that's what I could refer to. So it was really hard
Wow.
to understand because, like, the diagnosis part was like, so yeah, you have a rare disease. You might become completely blind by the age you are 40, and you might not be able to drive. You need to start learning Braille. And I was like, this is a lot of information.
Wait, especially for a teenager, right? Like you're already, your body's like going crazy with
Yeah.
hormones and all these changes. And you were pretty new to being to the United States and this whole
Yeah.
new culture. And then on top of that, they're like, oh, you have So RP, I thought was hereditary. Is there anybody else in your family who
Um,
has?
we've never officially done a genetic test or a diagnosis
Oh,
because, like
okay.
I said, in Madagascar, it's health access to healthcare is really scarce. You don't go to the
Oh, okay.
doctor just to have an annual checkup. You go to the
Right.
doctor because you have an emergency, and you probably live 25 kilometers away, and
Oh,
that's
right.
how it was for us. So my grandma on my father's side is no longer alive, my grandparents, but um, he told me, and I never really grew up with my dad, so I don't know exactly what his story is, but the few times that I met him, I asked about my condition because nobody else in my maternal side of the family have RP. And so
Okay.
I was asking, and then he was saying that his mom had also had trouble seeing at night, but that's all he knew.
Oh,
That's all he knew. Like, he didn't have any diagnosis or anything. But I'm really
Right.
interested in doing some more like participating in clinical trials to maybe get my parents tested, because I
Yeah.
did do a genetic test, and they were saying that I have recessive Usher syndrome, which I just found out like
Oh,
a few
wow.
months ago. This whole time I thought I had RP, but apparently I have Usher syndrome as well. But my hearing is great so far.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, you have the right drive and the right attitude. So no matter what happens, you got this. You got this,
Thank
Melodie.
you. I appreciate that.
Can you share, because you mentioned your mom, of course, and can you share what why your mom started the nonprofit organization, and then also the role that you play in it?
Yeah. My mom started the organization because her and her friends from the Peace Corps were very close and really wanted to create a change in the community that we grew up in, because Ambuvumbe is one of the poorest regions in Madagascar. So not only it's a third world country, but then we lived in like the third world of the third world.
Wow.
And they really saw how much potential there is in that community. There's not a lot of, for example, people there, if the rural population are lucky, they go to school until they're in sixth grade. Otherwise, a lot of
Until
them,
they're
until
in sixth grade.
yeah, until
Wow,
sixth grade.
wow.
That was like the
Okay.
normal high education to a lot of rural families there. And that's because education is not valued, really. And also because education is not accessible there. The teachers there would have a class scheduled, but they never show up. The teachers there are supposed to get paid, they don't get paid. So
Wow.
it's like politics and everything. So
Right.
access to education is really scarce there. So what they ended up doing is my mom took her experience, and as a 19-year-old who has who was struggling raising her child, and with her family
Right.
trying to raise this person, they wanted to create opportunity for girls in situations like she was. Because in my culture, it's really hard to, even though you have the drive to go to school, or probably you don't even have that because that's not normal.
Right, because it's not even on your radar, right?
It's
because
not.
you don't
Because
you don't know something you don't know.
yeah,
So.
like everybody around you is a mom, everybody around you is a cow herder, or everybody around you. So like, it's really hard to see yourself 10 years from now, 20 years from now. So what we do for the nonprofit organization, what my mom and her friends did, they wanted to provide girls access to education without their parents having to pay for education, without their parents having to marry them early, without them having to drop out if they become pregnant, because that's pretty prevalent there as well. So they started that nonprofit in 2012.
Wow.
They started with about like 13 students to now for more than 400 students, just above 400 students.
Oh my goodness.
And a lot of the students that started, those 13 to 14 students who started, they're now in college or about to graduate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we provide tutoring services there. We help with school, tuition and fees, school supplies. Sometimes we do famine relief activities where we get donations and we buy food to distribute during the famine season, because that happens about every 2 to 3 years. There's like a oh my gosh, I can't say that.
It's okay.
Cyclical famine.
Cyclical, yes.
Yeah, cyclical drought that happens every 2 to 3 years. And so that affects a lot of families, which then causes them to be in that cycle of poverty. And then therefore they're more likely to send their girls to go to get married to an older man, because it's the only way out really financially for a lot of families. So I'm very lucky that I got into this, because it was sad how it went, but then at the same time I'm lucky because I feel like this has become sort of my purpose. my mom was struggling to fundraise because I think her partners were not really as motivated once they came to the United States to support that organization. So she was ready to give up, and I was like, "How about I'm young, there's this thing called Facebook." This thing called internet, and I see people fundraising there. How about I help you? I'm not going to say I'm going to get you money or anything, but let's just try this strategy. And so I joined them in 2015, and ever since I've been involved, and I'm the program director there for the nonprofit. We're still voluntary based, but we are making a lot of progress. We have about 45 staff right now that are paid. So,
oh my gosh, it's very successful.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah. So it's, I'm very proud of my mom and I for sticking to it this long.
Yeah. So the girls like you had mentioned that are in college do you think some of them will also join the nonprofit to kind of, kind of be boots on the ground there?
Yeah, and actually some of them are already our staff.
Oh, wow.
Our model is that we want to help these girls complete their national exams to pass middle school, high school, and college. And then at the same time, while they're in the process of that, we want to train them with employment skills so that they can either get a job outside of graduation or through Nofy Androy. That's the name of our nonprofit organization. Yeah. And so far, most of the facilitators and the supervisors are actually girls that were students. And it's really great that way because they understand what our mission is. They understand what it's like to be a student, and they can relate to the students that are coming in and be mentors. So that's what we're doing right now. And we're also trying to partner with local organizations that are around the community to give them like internship opportunities or other opportunities that they wouldn't otherwise be exposed to. So
wow. And so tell me about the name of the organization. Like, does it mean something in your native tongue or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I want to know the story.
Yeah. Nofy y Androy means the dreams of Androy. Nofy, dream, y Androy. So Androy is the region where my mom and I are from.
Okay.
So the dream of Androy, or Androy's dream. And this really is a dream for us because I've never seen an organization coming into the community and providing free access to education or trying to help improve the gender gap in literacy. A lot of women don't have access to jobs because of the literacy rate, and women are not really invested that way. People don't really see that women could change the world or change the country itself if we give them education. So then, and not only that, we also do workshops. Like, for example, the other day we were doing making period packs.
Yes.
Yeah. I forget what those are called in English, but yeah, like the pads. Yeah, like reusable pads. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, like menstruation packets. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. So we try to incorporate a lot of life skills programming and workshops for the women as well.
So are you also educating the parents about the possibilities? Because I would think, like you said, a lot of these parents were probably, especially the women, were very young mothers to start with.
Right.
And are you doing any education with those guys?
Yeah, we are. A lot of the facilitators, again, the alumni, they go out into our annex sites, our extension sites, and they kind of do like a skit almost, or like a campaign on why education is so important. What is Nofy Androy's mission? Why are we helping your children for free? Why are we pouring money into your children? And it's because we believe in their future. They could have a completely different future than what we already know. And so a lot of the time it's actually really successful because it seems like almost like they've never heard of this other future that's possible.
Yes. Yeah.
They're like, oh, so you're saying I can not get married to somebody if I don't want to? Yes, you
Yeah.
can. There's a law, but nobody's following it. Oh, you're saying that I can actually finish college? Like, yes.
Oh.
So it's a blessing, I think, that we're doing, and I'm hoping that we can do it for forever. I'm hoping we can stay.
Well, so how do people find out more about it? And you are a nonprofit, so everybody out there, especially if you're in the United States, that is a tax right off your taxes.
Exactly.
How do they find out more about the nonprofit and support you and your mom's work?
Yeah, so we are on Facebook, and also we have a website called nofyandroy.org. That's spelled NofyIandroy.org.
Okay, wonderful. And we'll put that in the show notes so that everybody, you can just click on it and go directly there. So.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, our website is like not very updated right now, but we're working on it.
Oh, that's a constant full-time job.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, Melodie, tell me a little bit more, because I know you have a full-time job outside the nonprofit, which a lot of us who do work for nonprofits, a lot of you out there, you do have full-time jobs besides the humanitarian work you do. So what do you do when you're not working with the nonprofit?
Yeah, so the nonprofit, I usually work on that on the weekends. My mom usually comes over and be like, hey, this is this email, blah, blah, blah. Can we respond to it? This is this project we're doing. Can we do it? But then outside of that, on the weekdays, I work at Seattle King County Public Health Department. I'm a disease intervention specialist. I do disease investigations, specifically on sexually transmitted disease.
Oh, wow.
That is my day job. And then I am also an entrepreneur. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction. Yes. I'm working on building my business in finances and also in network marketing.
Yes. And tell us why you're doing that.
Oh my gosh. I'm doing this because I don't know. I got this opportunity to come to the United States, and we thought, we were coming here because it's the American dream. Even my grandpa, who doesn't know what the United States, was like, yes, go, because better opportunity for you. And turns out when we came here, it's not as easy as everybody thought. It's right. Like, it's not easy, and it seems like my whole life I've always been living paycheck to paycheck, not knowing what the systems are, not knowing what options are available for me. And so a friend of mine invited me to one of these educational sessions about finances. It's just like a basic introductory on just finances. And then I was like, I'm 30 years old, and why am I just finding out about this? You're saying I could do this, this, and this, and that in order to avoid my current situation right now. And they're like, yeah, just nobody has showed you. And I don't think they wanted, a lot of the population is aware of this. So it's not something that we are taught when we're in high school. And I wish that I had like a course in high school, because I like to believe that I'm a great student. So I feel like if I had a course on taxes or finances, I feel like I agree, better off right now. But that wasn't available to me, and still today that's not available to a lot of people. So I want to be able to use my platform to give access to a lot of people who are not even aware that they need this information. And also another reason that I'm doing this is because I have 10 degrees of my field of vision left. And it's really scary to be in the spot that I'm in right now, because I don't know if I'm ever going to become completely blind or not. Right. I'm sort of like in this transitional phase where I need to accept that this is going to be my life now. Today is the last day that I'd have the best vision that I have is exactly what it feels like. The day's the best. Yes. Yeah, the day where
I completely understand. You never know if you're going to wake up tomorrow. And I just went through like a really bad vision like the last few months, and a lot of it could have been through some other health issues I was having. I was like, okay, this is it. It's all downhill from here.
Yeah.
And, but for some reason, we just altered a little bit of the routines that I was doing, and it kind of just stabilized again.
Aww.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Well,
so.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, tomorrow is, you never know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Exactly.
So I feel like right now I'm on this mindset where every day I'm going to have to do my best just to absorb everything, to be present and to also live the life that I'm supposed to live. And it seems like every day I'm constantly trying to reach that goal, which is a fulfilled life, whatever that means to me.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Jonathan Price here with The Blind Chick. I'm the podcast producer. Hope you guys are enjoying part 1 of our episode with Melodie Paubert. She's such an amazing woman, and I hope that you guys come back for next week. Just wanted to make sure you guys are remembering that Saturday, this upcoming July 27th, 2024, we are having our annual Audio Trekkers hike, and there are still a few spots left, so make sure that you register at aftersight.org/hike. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to email us at feedback@aftersight.org or give us a call at 720-712-8856. Do not forget to share and subscribe, and we'd love to hear your comments. So comment down below, either in Spotify or Apple or anywhere you get your podcasts. All right, we hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for listening to The Blind Chick.